Hello everybody. Sajjad Mustafa, your instructor for today's lesson, is here to welcome you. If you want to become full data scientist and AI expert from scratch, then you are in the right place because we put a lot of effort on making specific tutorials for the beginners, such tutorials that help beginners to start their career. Today, we are going to learn web scraping and data mining. Those who have a little bit idea of web scraping and data mining might feel like it's really a difficult topic or something, but no. We are going to make it very easy, especially for the beginners. So today, what we are going to do is, and by the way, by the end of this lecture, you will be able to scrap data from one of the most famous websites around the globe. So what we are going to do is we are going to start with introduction that what is web scraping and what is data mining. And then we are going to say, okay, we know what it is, then why it is important. And then the next question would be, okay, so it's important, then how to implement it. And once we'll be able to know that how to implement it, the final thing will be its implementation, obviously, and then we'll conclude it with some its modern world applications that would tell us, okay, so now we know how to implement, but what to do with this implementation. All right, so let's start with a little bit of introduction. So what is web scraping? So specifically we mentioned the word web here. So this means that we're going to scrape data from websites, which means if any website that has some data on it in any format and we want that data to use for anything else, all right, we'll also discuss that that data would be used for what things, all right. So we want to extract that data in a structured format. So what we are going to do is we are going to scrap that website, all right. How we are going to do it? Just wait for a minute. So, and data mining, what is data mining? So in terms of web scraping, if we want to extract data from websites only, then it is called data mining as well. Data mining is such a huge field. It depends on from where you're mining the data, you're extracting the data. So if you're extracting data from website, then it will be called as data mining as well. All right, and finally we'll be having some introduction to HTML elements. Now why we want to learn HTML elements? Because without having an introduction of HTML elements, it would be quite difficult for us to learn or to implement web scraping or data mining. So you don't have to be an HTML expert. We'll be having just 1 or 2 minutes of introduction of HTML elements, and that is good enough. You don't have to be a web developer or something. As we have mentioned, we pay a lot of focus on beginners, so you don't have to be a web developer or something. When we'll start implementation, before implementation of data mining or web scraping, we'll be having an introduction of HTML elements. All right, so the next thing is what we are going to use, what tools we will be using for it. So in modern world, there are a lot of tools available in different languages, but as you know that AI sciences specifically use Python, and we have a complete Python course for the beginners. It is almost of 12 hours, and it is available in the link below if you can check it out. It is a complete course for the beginners. You can have it if you have any difficulty in coding of Python. You can have it. It is designed by one of our main instructors, Kashif Murtaza. And in Python, there are even multiple libraries for web scraping, and all the libraries have their own specifications. One of them is Beautiful Soup, and the other one is Scrapy. So what we are gonna use for today is Beautiful Soup. Now you might be asking for the reason. So one reason I can give you is because it is beautiful. No, I'm just kidding. So Beautiful Soup has its own, expertise, and Scrapy has its own expertise. For today, because we have time limitation, we'll be using Beautiful Soup only, and we'll also be recording some tutorials for Scrapy as well. That's a promise. All right. Now, what is its importance? Okay, so it speeds up data related task, and once it speeds up data related task, then you don't have to do any donkey work on data. What do we mean by that? Let's go to an example. For example, this is a website that we want to scrape. It's a FIFA website that displays the ranking of all the teams. All right. For example, it says Belgium is at the top, and then France, then Brazil, and it also displays the rankings. It also displays total points and previous points and stuff like that. Now, you want to gather this data from this website. What would you do? The easiest thing you can do is you can ask someone to sit down, have a pen and paper in hand, and note down the names of teams with the total points and with the previous points as well. All right. And this website has almost 50 records on first page, and it has 5 pages. So you can say it will be having 200 to 250 records on this website, so that person can note down all the records and stuff like that. And whenever this website would update the rating, that person would have to again start everything from zero, and again rewrite everything again, because there would be some changes. So that is what I'm calling donkey work. For that, and that would also take a lot of time for that person, and that would also take a little bit chance of error, because humans do error, so that person can also make error. So there are a lot of risks involved in doing this task by human being. So what we can do, we can use web scraping or data mining over here. So no donkey work anymore. We will be learning web scraping or data mining today, so that your tasks would be speed up. Another thing is, it also converts unstructured data into structured data. Now, what do we mean by that? It's a long theoretical conversation, but we'll be having it in a very brief format. So briefly, if I say, any data that can be displayed in rows or columns, that is structured data. All right. And any data that is not available in rows or column, that is not structured data. So let's say this is these are the columns and these are the rows, right? So right now, if we talk about this website, we do not have this data in row column format, or we cannot display it in Microsoft Excel or some related software, right? So what we can do is we can use web scraping, and then we can convert this data into structured format. So I think a lot of theoretical discussion has been done, and it has some modern applications, but these applications we'll discuss after the tutorial that we are going to do, because I think you guys are a little bit bored now. So let's go. All right, so I have written this code already for you, because we do not have a lot of time to explain to rewrite this code. So I've already written it, and I will explain each and everything from this code, and whatever difficulty or ambiguity you will be having, you can ask it in the comment section, and we will try to respond as quick as possible. So first of all, we have to import these two libraries, request library and Beautiful Soup library. If we will be having difficulty in installing Beautiful Soup, just run this pip install bs4 and it will be installed. So let's run it. Now, what is the purpose of these libraries? Request library actually puts request on our desired URL. As you can see, this is a desired URL which is displayed over here over our other tab. In this tab, exactly this URL I'm using in our tutorial here, right? So it sends data request to this URL, and then we put this URL over here. I mean, we are just storing this URL in a string format in a variable, and then this variable would be displayed over here, will be sent over here as an argument, and this request instance would get us the elements that are available on this data page. All right, so let's run it, and you can see it is taking some time. Why it is taking some time? Because it is rendering the whole page, or it is loading the whole page. Now the whole data is being loaded in response. Then we are going to extract, or we are going to parse that data from this response by using beautiful soup. So we are using HTML parser for it. You can use other parsers according to the need, but for now, for today, we are just gonna use this HTML parser. So this beautiful soup would parse the HTML data for us, and let's see how this data looks like. So let's add a new cell over here, and let's write soup. Now what is this soup? We have stored our data, our parsed data, into this soup variable, right? So let's just run it and see what it contains. Here it is. So it contains the whole HTML document that is available on the page. Now, just for your information who have no idea about website development, let me tell you, whatever is being displayed on any website page, that is available on the HTML format of that website. For example, if I right click over here, I go to inspect, you can see this whole HTML, whatever is available on this page, it's available on this HTML, HTML data, HTML format of this website as well. So, and also you can see whenever I hover over there on above page, you can also see it highlights the thing, whatever I'm hovering over. So let's go back over here, and in this soup, we have complete data, whatever is available over here. So if we have all the data that is available over here, which means we have all the information that is presented on this page. So I think we are good to go. What do you think? Yeah, we're good to go. So now what we can do is, for test, let's say soup.find h1, run it. So it shows men's ranking. Now you might be wondering, what do we mean by h1? Those who have some idea of website development, then they already know. But since we are making these tutorials for beginners, so everyone should have the idea what it is. So it's perfect time to explain you what I promised you before about HTML elements. So h1 is basically an HTML element, or more technically it is called HTML tag. So again, let's come back to some inspect elements. So here we can see some data, right? It says div and then some class and some class name, right? Again, div, some class name. If we go further down, let's find some other div. Yeah, here it is. It says footer, class, and some class names. So this thing, initial thing, is called tag, HTML tag, all right? And this other thing is called class. These two things are the most important things in website. Sometimes it would be ID over here. Sometimes it would be class over here. Let's say for our understanding, our vague understanding, both are the same things, but there is a significant difference between ID and class. We'll discuss it someday else. For the sake of web scraping, let's say both are the same. Class and ID are the same things. All right. So we have to focus on two things: class or ID, and the HTML tag, which is div over here, footer over here, and there are a lot of other tags available. Let's say it has HTML tag h1 and class this fi ranking schedule title. All right. So if I just copy this class from here, all right, and I go back and let me do it in more, easy way. Let's forget about class. Let's just talk about this tag, h1 tag, right? So if I just copy this tag from here and I go back to my code and I say soup find h1, it says here it is, men ranking. All right, h1 is one of the tags, right? Okay, soup find, by the way, you can search, you can Google the other HTML tags as well. So okay, soup find h2 for me. Okay, it gives me a list. Why? Because I'm using find all, I'm not using find. So what is the difference? If you use find, it returns us only one value which comes at first. So if you use find all, it returns all the elements that have tag h2. It returns the list of those tags, right? So let me say, give me the first element. So it gives me the first element, but you see this whole data is very, ambiguous. I just need, basically I need this, the text of this tag. So what we are going to do is, text. So it gives us the text of first, h2 tag, which is FIFA, Coca-Cola, world ranking and stuff like that. And where it is, let's see, here we go. Here you can see FIFA, Coca-Cola, world ranking. Perfect. So these are just, very basic things. Now, so one thing is, if you want to search it from using tags, that's how you can do it. Now, if you want to specify your search, I mean, if you want to say, let me remove it from here. Yeah. If you want to say, I want to fetch all the tags who have class this, this. So simple is that you can pass another argument in your find all function that would do the job. So let's run it and see what we got. Here we go. But by the way, what it is giving us? Wait a minute. It is giving us the names of the teams. But how? Let's explore. So let's go over here. Let's inspect the name of the team specifically. And here it is. It says span, which is again an HTML tag, and then a class name. So class name is fit_n text. And what we are what we have done is tag span fit_n text. So it is, what we are expecting is every team name has the same class. As you can see here, Portugal also has the same class. Let's inspect England. England also has the same class. So that's how we do it. And it is giving us the names of all the teams. And let's do something like this. What is the length of this? Oh, it says 210. But on this page, we have only 50 teams. So if we click on last page, it has 210 teams. And our code also tells us it has 210 teams, right? So what is happening over here is it has implemented, it is totally understand if you don't get it, but for those for your general information, general knowledge, it has implemented some JavaScript libraries that loads the data but displays some of it. All right. So let's go back to our code, and that's how we can get the the teams. And if we do it something like this, I hope you understand what I'm doing. I'm just fetching the name of the team. All right. So now this code, which is available over here, I will also post this code, the data of this code, and you can find it in description. What I'm doing is I'm fetching the names of the teams and I'm converting the names of the teams into list. If you don't understand this text, you have to work on your Python. And again, I repeat, we have a complete course for Python. It is called list comprehension. So what I'm already doing is I'm iterating over the list that we have already, displayed over here. I'm iterating over it, and then I am extracting, or I am making the list of, the names of the teams, right? And then same thing I'm doing with the rankings. Here we go. So we also have, sorry, we also have, points over here, and then we also have previous points over here. So I've named it with rankings. Points, it's ranking means points. So so same thing we are doing with rankings, but rankings have different class, as you can see over here, and previous ranking also has different class, as you can see over here. So I'm doing the same thing also. These both have the same tags, different tags as well. It has span, it has td, it also has td, which means table data. So I'm just doing that, and let's run it. Oh, here we go. It says data is converted into list, and let me show you some of the data. Let's say t names. What is the t names? Here it shows the names of, teams, and what are the team rankings. And by the way, it also takes care of the order of data. It shows the rankings. So what is the ranking of first team? It says 1780. Let's verify this. Here it is, 1780. And you can also, check the previous rankings of the teams. Perfect. So let's remove it. All right. Now here our data scraping is complete. Web scraping or data mining is complete. Now these are just the games that we are going to play with it. We are going to convert it into dictionary. Okay, so we are going to make two dictionaries. One dictionary will be with key team names and value team rankings. The other dictionary will be key with the team name, and ranking would be value would be previous ranking. So let's run it, and let's ask what is the rank of, or what is the what are the points of Belgium. It says 1780. So what are the previous points of Belgium? Again, it says 1780 because there would most probably be no change. Yeah, so both are the same. So let's find Brazil, because Brazil it also doesn't has any difference. So let's find any team that has difference in previous and current points, so that our point would be more solid that there is some difference. Oh, unfortunately I'm not able to find any of those, but you can do it at your own. It's quite easy. You would see some different results over here, right? So another thing that we can do is, and that I want you guys to do, is if we can go, let's say go to first page, let's go to Belgium. If I click over here, it takes me to the next page, right? And here it shows me the average position of this team, of Belgium team, right? Now, how can I go to next page? By using web scraping, right? Now that is a question that I'm going to answer you in one of the upcoming tutorials. So in upcoming tutorials, I'll be telling you, so in this tutorial we have learned that how can we just scrape data from any one website page. In upcoming tutorial, I'll be telling you how can you fetch the data from all the pages that are available on this page, which means you can fetch the data from Belgium, you can fetch the data from the page of France, from the page of Brazil, and you can see that these pages are opened. You will be able to fetch the average ranking which is available on the next page of every team, right? So this is something that we are going to do in our one of upcoming tutorials. So let's go back and let's see what we have learned and what are the applications. So it helps you, basically it helps you preparing the training data for machine learning. You need structured data for machine learning algorithms. So it helps you do that we have already discussed. It also helps you in data entry, in automation of data entry. Now you would be asking, this is something that we have not learned, huh? You're right. We have not learned that and that is something that we are leaving for our upcoming tutorials. So I hope you have covered the basics of web scraping, and now since we know the basics of web scraping, in upcoming tutorials our speed would be much faster because we'll not be focusing on basis of web scraping anymore. So do subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss more videos helping you to start your data science and AI career. Check out this playlist of our data science and machine learning lessons, and see you in next video. Take care.